It's Brian Preston, the Money Guy.
All right, we're going to move on to Braden's question. He says, the wife and I are 26 and 29, and we're on step 7 of the financial order of operations. Nice. We want our next investment to be real estate. Ooh. So speaking of that, how would the Money Guy team advise us to think about risk on a scale of Dave Ramsey to Robert Kiyosaki? Where should he fall on that scale?
So they're 26 and 29 on step 7 of the FOO, but they want their next investment to be real estate. Mm-hmm. Is he asking a debt question? Is that what he's asking between Ramsey and Kiyosaki?
Well, I have some thoughts on this. I think, by the way, I love that because I had somebody, even a neighbor, because I went out with some neighbors this weekend, and one of them confessed that their father loves our stuff.
Okay.
Like he just, and then they brought up the whole Rich Dad Poor Dad book. And I was like, well, that's not exactly what we're alluding to either. I don't want you to have like 100 rental properties and all this other stuff. But I think I love that scale because Dave, we like Dave too, but Dave's thing does seem like the risk. He's trying to keep you from the debt and the risk of, being retired and having all this debt. And we're always worried that you should be investing because of the exponential growth opportunity. And I do feel like Robert is just wide open with all, leveraging up all the debt you can and doing stuff like that. So, Braden, this is a great question. So here's some thoughts. First of all, how do you get from step 7 to step 8? This is why I want to make sure that you have at least 25% of your money going into the boring stuff. Mm-hmm. That's the, are you, because it sounds like you're maxing out the retirement. That's step 6. You've already done, if it's possible, any of the tax-free growth through the HSAs or Roth opportunities through your employer or through Roth IRAs. If you've already done that and you're at step 7 where because remember part of step 7 is that hyper-accumulation in the 3 bucket strategy, the after-tax, the tax-deferred, and then the tax-free. I'm sure hoping, because part of what we need for real estate to go to step 8 is that you better have lots of money in easily accessible. If you're a 7-figure person, but it's all in your retirement accounts, that's not ideal for real estate investing, because you need to have access to liquid capital so that if you get into a downturn or you get into a situation where you've got multiple tenants that move out, or you have a big, expense like this building we're in right now. We have to put the roof on it this summer.
Yep.
It's not something that's and by the way, when we were doing, I'm sure there was. We just didn't ask. They didn't the financing of it. No, we just had to pay for the roof. I mean, it's one of those things that's very expensive. So you just want to make sure that you have the deep enough pockets. So that's why step 7, the hyperaccumulation, the 3 bucket strategies, you better have enough money in that after-tax account that's liquid and accessible. So if you get squeezed as you get into real estate investing, that's how I would handle that, Braden, is to graduate from step 7 to 8 is make sure that you are paying respect to those 3 buckets, the savings rate, so that you do have the money just in case things don't go perfect on the real estate investing.
Yeah. I'm going to speak a little more tactically to your question, Braden. I have a buddy who was saving up a bunch of money in cash because he wanted to get into rental property because there's a financial guru that he follows, one of the ones you mentioned. He said, man, I gotta have cash. I'm going to go buy the rental property in cash. And I was like, okay, well, why do you want to own real estate? Like, what's the benefit of owning real estate? And he kind of walked me through some of it. And I was like, yeah, well, but do you realize, like with where interest rates are right now, like one of the biggest benefits of real estate is like levered growth and having someone else be able to pay the note for you. So if you just pay cash, you make plenty of money. You don't necessarily need income right now. Are you sure that's the best use of that capital? Or might you be better served putting down a respectable down payment, 25%, 30%, financing the rest, and then thinking about other investment opportunities you may be able to do those dollars. Now, that's not full on Robert Kiyosaki, let me go lever everything, let me do cash out refis, let me do as much debt as I can. But if you're going to invest in real estate, you got to answer the question, why am I doing it? What is the reason? Is it because I need current income? Is it because I want to take advantage of levered growth? Is it because I have a big long-term capital preservation opportunity? Are there some tax benefits from it that I can garner? And then make sure that the way that you're approaching that also aligns with those goals. If your desire is to make the big levered return on real estate, you're not going to be able to do that quite as easily if you're just paying all cash and soaking all that money in there, because it's not the same cash on cash return. You have to kind of think through how that plays out over the long term. So I think the answer is, should I be on this guy's side or this guy's side? The money guy side is probably going to be somewhere in the middle after you've checked all the boxes that Brian mentioned that you should check.
And then also just deciding how involved you want to be in this. Because I think real estate investing is somewhat entrepreneurial in the fact that it's not passive. I mean, that's what I'm always amazed when people call real estate investing passive, because it's so far from it. I mean, no offense, but I've seen you plunge a toilet here in the last probably 2 weeks.
No offense taken. I've actually had to do that here.
I know you and I almost got stung by some wasps because some knucklehead.
We fixed a window?
Yeah, some knucklehead opened a window on the downstairs, and guess who has to go fix that? And I'm out there with the wasp nest pushing on this side, you're pushing on the other. I mean, after we finish recording today, I'm going to go pull a ladder out trying to find a cord in the ceiling.
Not passive.
I mean, it's definitely not passive. So that's why I would just encourage you. I love real estate because there are so many benefits on the tax as well as depreciation and cash flow, and building through levered growth. But just know what you're getting into. So hopefully that gives you the guidance to know how do you balance this in your financial journey of building financial independence.